If we think about the internet and video games as the open road, it can help us understand there are many similar dangers. Kids can get moving too fast, leave the safe areas without realizing, overestimate their ability to sense danger, lack understanding of their environment, and even visit places that are just plain dangerous for them in the wrong part of town. As parents, we don't let our kids drive without training, education, and practice, right? That would be a recipe for disaster. But this is exactly what happens when it comes to our kids' online behavior, like social media and video games. We toss them the keys with little to no education, training, and no practice on what to do. When it comes to driving lessons, we take our kids to an empty parking lot and walk them through the steps under careful supervision and routinely smash that invisible parent's emergency brake. But wouldn't it be nice if that car had a force field, automatic braking, and no damage cheat code one, so the risk was really low while we taught them? When it comes to games, many kids never get the virtual parking lot training, even though we have the cheat code for video games. So instead of tossing our kids the keys to a supercar, let's step back and start teaching them the ropes so that they're equipped with the knowledge and experience to safely navigate when they're out on their own. But how do we effectively use parental controls as an easy button? And is there a secret sauce that makes parental controls twice as effective as if they were used by themselves? When it comes to video games and screen time, most parents I have talked to want to decrease screen time and only watch the most wholesome of content. And it's in moments of extreme need they decide to throw on a show they heard might be good, or toss a tablet or their phone to their kid to keep them entertained for just 5 minutes. That's pretty similar to saying, I need to run to the corner store for milk and cookies and I'm just going to toss you in the back seat. Just hold on. I'm sure it'll be all okay. But the younger a kid is in the car, the more protections we give them. They have rear-facing car seats with 5-point harnesses, and everything is really well strapped into the seat itself because we wrestled the thing in for hours to make sure it wouldn't budge. And parental controls for young kids are a lot like rear-facing seats. They're extremely tight, they're secure, and keep kids from accessing almost everything on the internet and games that are potentially harmful. Online interaction, prohibited. Spending money, denied. Playing a game with violence or alcohol, nope, not a chance. But tossing our kids our phone to play a game and turning on the parental controls app is only half the battle. Kids don't know what appropriate behavior is, so they're watching everything we do. Are we driving like banshees? On our phones while driving? Are we playing games and spending money? Are we chasing rewards? Are we getting mad at the TV when they're home? How do we talk to strangers on the internet? But before we start letting our kids drive on their own, we have to schlep them around to and from Little League, school, dance, and all of the errands. During these formative years, we model what good driving habits and practices are. We buckle up, check the mirrors, adjust the seats, strap them in for safety, because soon enough, they're forward-facing in the car, and they're literally watching everything we do behind the wheel. And that goes for some of our rules to keep them safe. Maybe they try things that we have said will hurt. They need to try it and see if we're being honest. And the parental controls are similar. Still pretty restrictive, but allowed to see and experience a little bit more of the world around them, but not in the front seat yet and not experiencing the full depth of what video games can offer. These are the first years that our kids can fully see and absorb what it is we do in the driver's seat. They can see what good habits we have, what bad habits we have, and we continue to do. They can see how we react, understand our body language as well as anyone. And this goes double for how we interact with technology and play video games. And suddenly our kids are out of their car seats and into the boosters. Our kids move up just as quickly with the types of content and the amount of interaction that parental controls will allow by default. Just like every child is built different and will transition from their car seat or booster at their own pace, the same is true for parental controls. Instead of requiring that kids be denied or allowed access strictly based off their age, parental controls allow parents the freedom to decide when something is appropriate for their child and even change their mind and take content away that is harmful. And then our kids will gain access to new and more robust features. They'll feel like they can take the wheel and drive, regardless of any evidence to the contrary. Sure, as teenagers, they'll be able to talk to their friends online, play multiplayer, game together, and experience more mature games. But this doesn't mean that parents aren't able to configure the controls to prevent certain features, titles, or make purchases. What the gradually more permissive parental controls and our behavior models for our kids has done is demonstrate good gaming behavior and etiquette. Out of the two controls, the more powerful of the two is going to be parents' behavior and example. Regardless of any restrictions or controls put in place, it takes the good parenting secret sauce to make parental controls effective. Through example, we're able to set our kids up for success when it comes to emotional reactions, prioritizing time, spending habits, and recognizing scams and predatory behavior. This looks a lot like how our daily driving habits instruct and reinforce behaviors with our kids as they prepare for their driver's ed, their permits, and solo drives around town. Our positive behaviors are reflected and our negative behaviors are amplified. One thing I'd like to point out here is that if we don't take the time to teach our kids positive behaviors and habits early, we are not setting them up for success. Failure to use car seats or seatbelts puts kids at risk of serious injury, and failure to model appropriate behavior sets our kids up to put themselves in bad situations that could have easily been avoided. When we're not going to stop our kids from driving any more than we're going to stop them from being able to play games when they leave the house. So instead of saying no to video games and no driving, we're teaching them the proper way to act and set them up for success. Parental controls don't stop all bad behavior or fights around gaming or life. And to help less stressfully reduce the number of fights about video games, click on this video here that has some simple but effective strategies and tools to make it a less contested environment. If you made it through all my dad jokes, put your favorite driver's ed moment in the comments. Subscribe if you want more tips and strategies to set your family up for gaming success. Do good, play hard, game on.